Hi, everyone, and welcome to day 15 of the Summer Member Makeover. Yes, we're going to be talking about knowledge is power, but today we're going to start off with celebrating everyone's success because we are now already halfway through the Summer Member Makeover. It's been 2 weeks, and these gals have been amazing. So right now we have with us Crystal, and we have Donna, and I know that Janie is having a hard time getting on at this time of the day, but if you read my email this morning, she said some amazing things about how she wishes that all women knew this information so that they could teach their preteen daughters how to better nourish and care for themselves so they would not grow up with all the weight issues that so many of us women do. So anyway, we'll go into, I'm sure she's going to let us know at least, and we'll share hers as they come. So let's just get started today because it actually is time to celebrate. So, Crystal, do you want to go first? Tell us a little bit about well, let's start off with what we're going to do is just start off with hydration. So did you take and figure out where your hydration was last week and where it is now?
Where I came from was zero to where I am now is huge. I drink an average of 72 ounces a day of water.
That's amazing. In just 2 weeks. That's amazing. And how about you, Donna? I know you've been drinking a fair amount to begin with.
I was. I had kind of right at 96 ounces a day, but I get up, not the diabetic way of I've got to have water. I'm thirsty. I get up going, oh, water, that sounds really good. And so I get up and drink water just because it sounds really good.
I'm so excited to hear that because I know that's one of the first things I want to reach for in the morning. And I know when I tell women that, they think I'm kind of crazy. Water, no, they just want their coffee. But honestly, my coffee doesn't cut it first thing in the morning. It's got to be water because I do know I need to hydrate before I do the coffee. So thanks for sharing that. And how are we doing with the weight?
Crystal, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I'll go first. I haven't weighed myself yet because I have to get to a different scale. We had a class assignment due for my daughter over the summer so she could graduate. So we were busy working on that. And I didn't actually get, because I have to go to someone's house for the scale. My scale decided it no longer wanted to work. So I've been weighing myself on someone else's scale. It's just one tiny piece is broken. So I haven't weighed myself, but I promise to, in the next day or two, ladies, get myself weighed so I can let you know. But I feel so much better, and I'm positive the numbers will be down.
Oh, that's amazing. So thanks. I greatly appreciate that. I remember that years ago when I finally decided I had to take and make changes. I too didn't have a scale and I actually had to go somewhere else. But it was great because then you're not tempted to take and weigh in between either. And that's so important. So good. That's great. And you let us know when you find out. So how about you, Donna?
I will tell you, I was shocked. And I was like, I don't understand how I've lost this much weight because I eat, I drink. It was my son's birthday, so I had birthday cake again.
Again? Awesome.
I've lost a total of 5 pounds.
Amazing.
So, 2 the first week and 3 this week. But it doesn't make sense because I've done nothing other than the things you've told me. And the weight is just falling off, which is really cool.
And that's what's so important because when you just do the simple things and not make it complicated, it's all in creating better balance in what we're using, the foods we're using to nourish our body. Because when we nourish it with better balance, everything starts to work a whole lot better, including our metabolism, which helps everything burn better. It gives you more energy. You feel better. Yes, it is amazing. So congrats, Donna, on that. I am so thrilled for you.
It was weird.
That's wonderful to be able to share with a lot of people. Because are you noticing any, I want to say, reduction in the abdominal area, either one of you gals?
My pants are a little looser, not a lot looser, but they are a little bit looser. Um, because I was out and I was with family and stuff, and they were yesterday. I've got several. You look really good. Have you been losing weight? So I'm getting that, which is
Wow.
always positive. So,
I hope you were
but
sharing with them what you were doing.
well, yes, and my energy level. I've been on cleaning binge for the weekend. And I mean, not just cleaning, but doing the drawers and the closets and everything.
Wow.
So, yeah. So my energy
That's
level is way up too, which is cool.
that's exciting. How about you, Crystal?
Same thing, lots of energy, doing far more around the house than I thought I would. And I notice I have a lot less bloating. I don't know if you ladies experience that, but I get the afternoon bloat, and I
At the
don't anymore.
afternoon. Yeah.
I don't get that, and I'm so thankful. Or the swollen ankles or any of that, I don't get anymore, and that is huge because you're so self-conscious about those things,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
I'm so glad you brought up about the swollen ankles, because so many people, when their ankles swell, they stop drinking water because they think that they're retaining fluid, but actually they need more water to get everything moving better. So thank you so much, Crystal, for sharing that, because that is so important for women to know. And then what about cravings? How are we doing there?
I haven't really had any cravings. And, I covered last week about the nuts, and, I could have a little handful of nuts for a snack and not eat the whole bag. So, so I'm not having cravings. I'm not craving, the chocolate and all that kind of stuff. Although I will say Crystal's suggestion for the Kind bar with the sea salt, oh my gosh,
Yes.
that is very good and very filling.
Yes, that's amazing. That's awesome. So how about you, Crystal, with cravings?
Surprising enough, no cravings, but I do have to tell you, I do have two children, so they have chips and ice cream and this and that around me. But surprising enough, even surprising to them, I'm not wanting it. Like not even a spoonful of ice cream. If they have a chip, I got my son to hand me the smallest piece of chip, and I was like, yeah, no, I don't want it. So it's
Wonderful.
amazing, and I haven't. Like I don't, and I'm not feeling deprived. Like I don't, it's so hard to explain, and it's so hard for me to even wrap my mind around it. I'm not craving the things like the pop that I drink every single day. It really does not affect me or bother me that I'm not drinking it. And if you'd have asked me that 3 weeks ago, I would have said, I'm drinking pop and I don't care, but I'm not missing it at all.
Wonderful. That's great. So how did you gals do with your meals? The breakfast, the lunch, the dinners, the snacks? How did that all go this past week?
I think that's gone pretty well. I mean, we had the recipes that we could use, but then after sent the note about explaining about portions and the
Mhm.
way to line it up on your plate, that has made it super easy.
Yep, the simple balance plate.
Hmm.
Awesome. How about you, Crystal?
Good. The biggest challenge I have is getting my snack in the morning. I'm not normally I do eat my breakfast, but I'm not hungry during the morning. So getting my snack in is probably the hardest. And over the weekend, just adjusting my schedule. So instead of eating my normal times, it might be a couple hours later, but I'm also waking up a little bit later and things like that. Like my morning breakfast is always within the hour of waking up, but I will
Wonderful.
adjust my schedules as I need to. And
Mhm.
if that means like having a snack at a weird hour to get my snack in to go till dinner, I've been doing that as well. And it really hasn't been that hard. Like it's just a matter of and pre-planning, like having a snack bar with me is phenomenal. Taking my water with me, all of those things help.
Awesome. And I was going to share, and I didn't get it up here to my office. Kind bars also have the little mini bars. I don't know if any of you have seen those. They're a 100-calorie bar. They have the nuts and everything in them, but they're only about this big. And a lot of times that's what I'll end up using for a breakfast or a morning snack, just because it's easy. And like you said, sometimes you're not really hungry, but it's good to have something going in. So it helps keep our blood sugars level more consistent throughout the morning. So it might be another thing to think about. And I'll share you gals a link with where, how you can get those too. And how about sleep? I know last time we talked a little bit about trying to see about sleep. It sounds like you both were probably doing a really good job with getting your sleep in. So I would assume anybody have any issues or any questions or anything related to your sleep?
Sleep has been easy for me.
Well, weekends are harder for you, Crystal? Is that what you said? Yeah.
People are visiting and those things, but realistically, I still try to get the sleep. It might mean I go to bed later and I'm getting up later than I would normally get up.
Wonderful.
But
yeah, because and you both shared a little bit about your weekends, so it sounded. Anybody else have anything more to share on weekends? No. And then let's go into quick. What are your biggest wins for the week? What was your biggest win for the week? 5 pounds. 5 pounds. That's a great win, Donna.
It's a huge win because I stepped down and I looked and I went, that can't be right. I stepped off. I stepped back on because I knew what I had eaten and what I had done, and there was no extra of anything to try to make it all happen. So how did it happen? I mean, I just followed the guidelines, and I'm going, okay, this is really kind of cool. So,
and the beauty is you could have your cake and eat it too.
And I did.
That's amazing. Really that's great. And Crystal, what do you think your biggest win is for the week?
Just how not deprived that I feel. Like I'm not on a diet. Like there's nothing I can't have. And I just choose to not want it.
And don't you think that sometimes when there's no forbidden foods, it isn't quite as tempting?
Absolutely. I have a pop. I'll be honest, ladies, not even a pop. It's a Fresca in the fridge. And my daughter said to me, I'd really like to drink that. I said, well, you can drink it. I don't mind. But I kind of like having it in the fridge because I know it's there so that it's there if I want it, but I don't want it. But it makes me feel comforted to know it's there. It's like, there's a chocolate bar there. I can have the chocolate bar. I just choose not to have the chocolate bar. Big difference rather than I can't. Because everything I've ever done is you can't have this, you can't have that. And then I just feel like I'm being punished.
Right.
On top of being overweight and already punishing myself, then I feel like I'm being punished. I don't feel punished. I don't feel deprived. I feel that I can have anything I want. I just want to make the right choices. That's the mind switch. And it's very different than anything I've ever done before.
Amazing. That's great. And what about your biggest challenges? Did either one of you find that you had any big challenge or anything like that?
Getting enough vegetables.
Okay, that's fair.
Eating enough vegetables is a challenge for me. Not that I don't like vegetables. I just can't. Eating that much in comparison is like, I don't know how to do it.
Well, I found that a really easy way that I do so many of my vegetables is I roast a whole bunch of them ahead of time because then I have them. I find if they're available, it's easy, but I don't have time to always create them every day, or else even have, some of the frozens, like the frozen broccoli once in a while or stuff like that. But it's amazing. And it takes a little bit of time to to adapt to having that many vegetables. But thanks so much for sharing. Donna, any challenge for you?
No, I mean, I honestly, this has just been like, I don't want to say it's easy, but it is easy. But then it makes it sound like you're really not putting forth any effort. But it's not like I'm having to put forth any effort. It's just, I follow the guidelines, which are super easy to follow, one thing a day. And then it just kind of flows and incorporates into my life. And then I feel like, well, I know I'm making a good choice here, so I'm happy. And then, and I have been good. I have not stepped on the scale. So this morning was a
Wonderful.
shock.
Thank you.
And I do have scales in my house, but I've made a true effort not to do it because you said don't. So I'm just trying to follow all the suggestions and the guidelines, but they all make me feel good. And for the weight to be coming off, then that makes me really happy. Because here's my biggest thing. I am a non-chemical person. I don't like taking anything in that I don't know what it is. So I don't do pills. If you see me taking aspirin, you know I'm dying. And you know I'm going to have to go lay down someplace, because a person who takes nothing, it puts you to sleep. And so I'm really big about that. And everything's natural. I do cook vegetables. So I go to the market 2 or 3 times. We have a great little market here, local produce. So, unfortunately, they know me by name.
Well, that's good, because produce is great. And local is even better. That's amazing.
Local is better. So I buy local instead of at the grocery store.
Wonderful. And how about celebrating your success? Are you gals thinking of a little something at least to do to celebrate your success that's, like I said before, non-food related?
I'm going to the movies.
Wonderful.
I'm sitting at the theater. When this is over with, I'm going to the movies and I'm going to go see Lion King.
Oh, I saw that. Are you going for 3D?
Yes.
Yes, it's amazing. It really is. I saw
that's
it
my treat.
When it came out on Broadway. I saw it, and that was amazing. And so, yes, we saw it last weekend when it first came out. It's fun. You'll enjoy. That's a great way to celebrate. Crystal, you have something in mind you're going to be doing?
No, not. I'm still. My hair's still a work in progress, ladies.
Well, but just at least make sure you're giving yourselves those pats on the back, because every day that we celebrate our success, it helps us live in more gratitude. And it's that gratitude that really helps us be able to create that positive mindset, and it empowers us to really want to care and nurture ourselves even better. So, just think of the little ways that you can take and just make sure that you're acknowledging what it is that you're doing, those wonderful changes that you're making.
That's another point. Like, I always put my kids first, right? Women do. That's what we do. And even though I'm doing this for me, I'm not finding it to be selfish. Like, it's not taking away from my children. I'm proud of myself for doing it, and I'm proud that they see me doing it. It's not taking away from them. They're not eating something different than I'm eating. It's not complicated in that regard. They're seeing me do something good for me to encourage them, but I'm not feeling guilty for taking time for me, which is a big thing too, because my health affects them because I'm here longer for them, but it's not the same guilt. It's all about me, because it's not about me. It's about me feeling better and being healthy, but it's not a guilty thing. I don't feel guilty. I'm not being selfish.
But you're also setting an amazing example for your kids too.
Yep.
And that's so important as we're bringing up the next generation, so to speak, is that we help them to be able to learn how to better love and nurture their own body, because then they're going to be able to grow up without some of maybe the issues that some of us have had growing up. So I really commend you on that. So right now we're just going to quickly go through. I had sent you gals the info, and everybody else that's participating, the information on designing your rules. And I have found that it's so important as women that we create our own rules that I call them rules, but guidelines, whatever you want to say. But we have to be the person that chooses how we want to live our life. it's so difficult to follow other people's rules, just kind of like we've been talking about when, they say you can't have stuff, you want it more, or if they're telling you you have to do this and it's not exactly what you want to do, it really makes it difficult and frustrating, and sometimes we just almost want to rebel. And so when you can actually sit and create your own rules, maybe following some good sound guidelines, it makes living your life so much easier. We need to be able to be the ones that are really vested in our rules. So to be best, it's important we have to take on that responsibility. It's easy to say, oh, it's somebody else's fault. And it's not as easy to say it's up to me. But in reality, the end point, it is up to us unless we turn that over to somebody else. So I really love to empower women to be able to say, these are the rules I really kind of want to follow, and I'm willing to do them at least about 80% of the time, because I also want everybody to remember we are not perfect. Whatever we decide to do, we probably will have those days when we just decide I'm going off this rule for today, but then we don't have to feel guilty about it. And that's the other part that's so important. And so it's really important for us to understand that knowledge really is power. You see that everywhere. But it's important to be able to have that knowledge and to be able to sift through it. There's so much information out there. I call it noise. This, do that, do this, do that. And oftentimes it's the same old thing done a few years ago, just repackaged with a new name to try and get people to, I want to say, jump in and hurriedly make a change. But we all know that it really needs to be done gradual to be able to make it stick. And also, it really doesn't have to be complicated. So today we were just working on designing your own nutritional rules by deciding what it is that you are willing to eat. So it's totally today only on what we're going to eat, what we want to drink, and figuring it out how we're going to do that. And so I've given you some ideas of things to help you maybe write out what it is you really are willing to put in your body. Were you gals able to think through some of that and maybe write it down, because we know the writing down is so important? Either of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of the weight loss, I am sticking to what we've been doing these last 2 weeks because honestly, I don't have to think about it. They're just simple, easy things to do. And I'm losing weight. I may plateau at some point in time, and then,
We'll
then I'm going
talk
to be
about how
calling
to
you
handle
and going,
that.
Kathy, help me.
I know exactly how to handle plateaus. Trust me, you've trusted me so far. I can handle plateaus.
But,
There's some easy ways for that too.
but it all goes back. It just incorporates so easily into my lifestyle that I really have not had to work. I've celebrated 2 birthdays, one, and I still am losing weight. I still have a glass of wine. I had a margarita last night. I mean, I haven't changed, but I have changed. What I'm eating and the portions and all that part has changed. And the water consumption is up more consistently. So
Wonderful. How about you, Crystal?
I did go through everything, and there's certain things, of course, that I don't want to put in my body. Knowledge about the sweeteners and stuff has been great, and the artificial sweeteners and stuff like that. I think there's such a myth. There's so much knowledge out there. You don't know what to believe and what to trust. Let's be honest. If we knew how to not be fat, none of us would be fat. Nobody wants to be fat. Nobody wants to be fat. So being able to have you that we trust to kind of guide us through this is amazing. So, and I've learned lots, like the portion size, even though we've been told multiple times, having that visual to look at kind of sinks it all in. Just knowing kind of, if you're going to have sweetener, make sure you have it with protein. Those little things are all so valuable that you don't hear and you don't get. So for me, I don't want sodium. Of course, I've never been a fan of salt, for years now. no artificial sweeteners. I don't want preservatives and things that keep products longer. I mean, more organic and thing is definitely the way to go. That's also a cost factor, especially here in Canada. Organic is super expensive. I'm sure it is for you guys.
Mhm.
So choosing to eat the right things in the best possible way really helps too, right? So
Right. So it sounds like you both have kind of looked through a little bit about what you're going to limit, some of the things that you maybe don't want to put into your system a whole lot. That's not to say that they'll never get in there, but that, we kind of, like you were saying, Crystal, you're just choosing not to have those very often. And then thanks for sharing about the portion control, because I think that that's so important. Making it simple, visually. And I know that sometimes people's eyes grow depending on what they like. But I think by kind of dividing up your plate and really having it more visual that way, it really helps you. I want to stay better balanced. So that's really important. And so do both of you kind of feel like you're going to be able to follow this now about 80% of the time?
Yeah.
absolutely, without a doubt.
That is so important. And so tomorrow we're going to take and continue with the part 2 of planning your rules that you're going to be living by. There again, just write them down, because it's the writing down and the writing down the why, because our whys can be so empowering. If we just keep it all stored in our heads, actually it's a dream, and a dream is a goal without a deadline. So just try to make sure you write it down a little bit. And as far as the track, there's Janie. Hey, Janie, she's kind of come on. So thank you so much. Thanks, Janie. I know this is a hard time for you, but thanks for being able to join us.
You're welcome. Sorry I'm late.
No problem. Donna has now lost a total of 5 pounds. Crystal has to go somewhere else to weigh and measure, to weigh. And so she's going to take and let us know. So, and they're both having a lot more energy, drinking a lot more water. How did you do? We'd love to hear.
2.5 pounds.
Wow.
Yay.
So now your total is
4.5.
4.5. Amazing.
Wow.
And considering how, I want to say, wickedly crazy your life has been.
Yeah.
That's a really, really big win, Janie. Thank you so much. And I did briefly share at the very beginning how you had shared with me about you were wishing that more women would be able to teach this to their preteen daughters. Do you want to just expand on that just a tad bit? Because I found that to be really interesting and really good and important.
Well, I don't have any daughters myself. I have friends with daughters that are teenage girls, and they obsess. It's like they weigh themselves every 5, and we're talking skinny girls who have some kind of body image problem that they have to be a Kardashian, and they're not skinny either. But, and I just was thinking, if we taught girls at a younger age, it's easy to do this. It doesn't take a lot of time, and then you don't have to worry about it later. They would have much more fun being teenagers than worrying about how much they can eat tomorrow in front of the girls at school because they don't want to be the fat chick.
Right. It's so important that we try to help younger women. And yes, they're not really women, they're girls, but they're going to grow up to be women. And it's at that young stage that so often girls start to develop the bad habits, and usually for the wrong reasons. And so I just find that to be so important. And thank you for sharing that. And I shared it in an email today, and I hope that it opens up some women's eyes, because actually I think a lot of women grow up developing the wrong habits for the wrong reasons, but without the proper information. And so I think just being able to help you gals be able to create a better balance in what you're doing and what you're eating and how you're nourishing your body, it helps you start to love and care for yourself better. So Thank you so much. And energy level and all of that. Do you want to share anything or any I want to say things that were a challenge for you?
No, my energy level has definitely gone up since we've started this. My challenge this past weekend was a group of friends went to a restaurant where normally I would do I'll just get a salad thing. And, I stopped myself mid order and I thought, no, I don't have to eat rabbit food. So I went back through the menu again and found some healthier choices, but something I probably wouldn't have picked a year ago because I was worried about, oh my God, I can't eat that because I was on a diet.
Yep. And so what did your friends say? How did they react?
They just kind of looked at me and one of them actually kind of followed suit. She said, you know what? I think I'll change my salad order too. We just had a grilled chicken, sandwich, half a bun and that. And I kind of just chuckled to myself because I've been talking to her, trying to get her to join us here. And she's like, keep putting it off. Oh, I don't know. It doesn't sound like that would work for me. I said, I didn't think it would work for me either. So you may see her here this week signing up.
Wonderful. And make sure you let her know that you had the grilled chicken and still lost more weight.
That I will. I'll certainly let her know.
All right. So it actually isn't too late for people to join. They can just go to www.summermembermakeover.com, summermembermakeover.com. We have a bunch of gals who are just starting fresh this week. They will be starting from day one. They will be able to take and follow us and ask questions and comments and stuff in our on our lives. But they will be able to start right from day one and have the same success as you gals have. So until tomorrow we're going to do with the part 2. Janie, I'm sure you probably already read through starting to create your rules, your nutritional rules. So until tomorrow, you gals have a wonderful day. And we'll see you then. Thanks so much, everybody.
Bye.
You are amazing women doing amazing things. Thank you so much. And this is Kathy from Forget Diets Forever. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.